Well, welcome to our third CI Leading the Way webinar. Thanks for joining us today. Happy to have you guys here. Today we're going to be covering, whoops.
Sorry.
It's okay. Today we're going to be covering pre-adverse and adverse action, and we'll be covering the pre-adverse action procedure, disputes, and the adverse action procedure. And then just a quick disclaimer, the information provided in this presentation does not constitute legal or compliance advice. It is for information and discussion purposes only when considering implementing pre-adverse and adverse action procedures. It's highly recommended to consult legal counsel. And so my name is Rachel, and I am one of today's presenters. I am a business development associate and investigator with CI. Been here for about 3 years, and I handle lots of marketing, sales, and client service. And we also have Patricia here today.
Hi, I'm Patricia. I'm a lead investigator here, and I do a lot of the criminal researching with my criminal research team, as well as initial client training, and I'm the software go-to when there are issues. So I do a lot of the troubleshooting when there's problems with the software. And then we have Brittany.
Hi, I'm Brittany. I am also a lead investigator here at Commercial Investigations. I handle most of the initiating, and I also handle our staff account. I've been here for almost 4 years. And then we have Yvette.
Hi, everybody. My name is Yvette. I am a lead investigator as well as a trainer here at Commercial Investigations, and I have been with the company for close to 6 years now. And so now we'd like to open it up to any of our guests who have joined us today that would like to introduce themselves and the company that they represent. Feel free to just unmute yourselves and say hey if you'd like to.
I'll be brave. This is Colleen from SUNY Poly. I'm an HR generalist. I think Brittany helps me a lot, so thank you very much.
I will go next. I'm Derek. I'm from Berkshire Farm, used formerly Commercial Investigations. Hoping to see if anything has changed and what I can learn today.
I'm Michelle. I'm the president of Commercial Investigations, and I'm just checking in with what's going on. And hi to all of our clients. Thanks for joining us.
All right. It's okay if no one else wants to go. We can hop right into it. All right. So first, I'm actually going to be talking about pre-adverse action. This is directly from the FCRA. It's section 603, where it talks about adverse action, and that is basically taking any kind of adverse action against an employee, whether it be not actually hiring them for the position based on what you found in the background investigation, a suspension, loss of wages, or not promoting them. So anything that is definition of adverse action and what steps you need to be taking in order to allow the consumer to basically dispute any information that they might deem that's inaccurate. So we're going to go over the pre-adverse action as well as the adverse action and the documents that you would need in order to make sure that you're compliant. So this is just the statute where it came from. So I'm actually going to escape out of here. Okay, so for pre-adverse action, this is when you've decided, hey, you know what, I'm not going to move forward from hiring this individual based on what was presented in the background investigation. So I have all of these test ones I don't want. I just want my regular list. I thought I pulled up my regular list here. That's why I have it in pending. That's a different webinar, those custom report views. Okay. So our software is great. It has a lot of tools that you can actually use. Here's our friend Test Tester. We got some origin hits. We've decided that they are enough to affect what duties they'll be doing at their position, because New York State Article 23A tells us that if there is a conviction, it has to be directly relating to the job that they will be performing. So we're gonna say, you know what, they have too many DWIs, they can't be a driver here. So we're gonna send them the pre-adverse action letter, which we actually have set up for you within our software. It's over here under actions in our HTML version, which is the interaction version of the report. And if you click on it, it actually pulls it up as a Word doc. No, not that one. Okay, so here is our template version of our pre-adverse action notice. So this is, it pre-fills with the subject's information, the date. It's in a Word doc so that you can copy and paste it into your own letterhead if you choose, or if you need to make any adjustments. And it does tell you which enclosures you'll need. So you will need a copy of the report when you send out a pre-adverse action notice, any state-specific forms, so that's California, Pennsylvania, Oregon, New Jersey. All of those are actually attached at the very beginning when the subject goes through the portal. So it'll basically append the correct document based on the address that they put in as their current address. So New York State gets Article 23A. If you're not using the portal, we do have those resources for you on our website. So if you do need additional state-specific forms, you can always reach out or check the website. We do have them up there. The FCRA Notice of Rights. So those are the enclosures. If it is a New York City company or the individual lives in New York City, you will need, there is a New York City additional form, which again is actually in our software for you to download, and that kind of gives a reason as to why, and it's kind of an evaluation as to why you're taking action. The same is for Los Angeles City residents in California. So if the company is in Los Angeles or the subject lives in Los Angeles, there's another form that specifically goes with those. For California companies and residents, there is a specific pre-adverse action. We're actually working on getting that up on our software, where you have to specify why you're not hiring them and what points on the background investigation are causing you to not hire those individuals. So there's a couple more stipulations based on where the company is and where the individual resides, and those specific ban the box type areas and Fair Employment Act. So you have this. You can take a peek at it. You can download it and look at it yourselves. You can bring it to your legal team just to make sure it's everything that you want. So you would send that out. And then if you click on the PDF version of the report, maybe. My computer wants to be slow today. Here we are. Here's my PDF version. I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom here. Okay, so once you print out the PDF version of the report, it actually includes the FCRA summary of rights, and then any state-specific forms based on where they live. So it'll have, if they're a New York State resident, it'll have Article 23A already attached, the same with any of the other states. I do want to show you where you can locate those additional documents that I mentioned. So that's that New York City one, the Los Angeles one. We have them up here under Docs and Forms. If you click on Docs and Forms, you'll see this list of things here, and it's the New York City Fair Chance Act form. And that's a PDF that can be filled. And again, this is for New York City residents or if the organization is New York City. So it's basically what they call the Article 23A evaluation form. And then similarly, there's the City of Los Angeles, and that's their fair chance hiring form. And it's very similar to the New York State one, or New York City one, sorry. It's that evaluation as to why and the reason. So these are the forms that are required of those specific areas. So for pre-adverse action, we recommend that you send that out certified mail, just so that you get that receipt delivery confirmation. And that's important just so that you don't have the subject come back to you and say, hey, I never got it. When you have that certified mail, you have that receipt saying, hey, you signed for it. Yes, you did. So that just is a protection on your end. And then we usually recommend you wait 5 to 7 business days before sending out adverse. And we'll get into adverse, but right now we're going to go over to Yvette, and she's going to talk about our dispute procedure.
Okay, so according to section 611, this is the definition of a dispute from the Fair Credit Reporting Act. I'll just read it because it's pretty short. Procedure in case of disputed accuracy, reinvestigations of disputed information, reinvestigation required in general, subject to subsection F if the completeness or accuracy of any item of information contained in a consumer's file at a consumer reporting agency is disputed by the consumer and the consumer notifies the agency directly or indirectly through a reseller of such dispute, the agency shall, free of charge, conduct a reasonable reinvestigation to determine whether the disputed information is inaccurate and record the current status of the disputed information or delete the item from the file in accordance with paragraph 5 before the end of the 30-day period beginning on the day on which the agency receives the notice of the dispute from the consumer or reseller. So what that means here at Commercial Investigations, we use primary source verification, which means we go directly to the source. But of course, there's always the possibility of human error. For example, if we get court records, there's data entry errors are possible. A lot of different hands are in data entry in court records and disposition information and things like that. So there is always that possibility that there is going to be some type of human error. So if a subject disagrees with any information on their background investigation and they want to dispute it, all they need to do is simply reach out to Commercial Investigations. They'll be transferred to the appropriate investigator to handle the dispute. And generally right now that is myself or Patricia. The investigator then would listen to the subject's concerns, get the specific information that the subject is disputing, and then we will explain to the subject that we are going to email them what is called a disclosure request form. So we're going to want to verify that we have a good email on file for the subject and also a good phone number in case we needed to reach back out to them in order to discuss any information. So we are going to email them that form, let them know that we would ask for them to fill it out and return it to us as soon as possible. The form is just asking for a written description of the information that they're disputing. And so the investigator will then immediately open a reinvestigation. We do not wait until we receive that form back from the applicant. We're going to open it right away and start the reinvestigation right away. So then we're going to reach out to our client, whoever they have applied for and we have done the background investigation for, and let our client know that the subject is disputing information on their background investigation. And we're going to ask that they hold off on any adverse action until the reinvestigation is completed. Then we will notify the client as well as the subject once we have completed it. So we're given 30 days to complete the reinvestigation. We do get an additional 15 days if for some reason the subject has additional information to provide us that may help out getting some additional information. And but from our perspective, we generally get them completed within a couple of days. So what the reinvestigation consists of is us reaching out to the primary source, again, for a recheck of the information that we originally received. So for example, if it's education verification and they're disputing the degree, we would reach back out to the school. If it's an employment verification, we would reach back out to the employer. Those are just a couple examples. So if in our reinvestigation we verify different information, then we update the original report. If the information is verified as the same, then no changes are made to the report. So we're going to reach out to our client and notify them that the report has been updated and that the reinvestigation is complete, or that just that it's been completed and no changes have been made to the original report. We will also let the subject know once it is completed so that they're aware as well. So just a few things that I'd like you to take note of is that if the information is unverifiable, so if we call back, for example, a court, if we had been given disposition information from a specific court, if the information is only a first name and last name match, for example, and we are not able to verify any other identifiers, a date of birth, a social security number. So if it's just simply a first and last name match and we cannot 100% verify that it is our subject, then we need to remove that information off the report. So we have to be able to verify the information. And then just one other note, that if an individual is disputing information on their credit report, we would supply them with the contact information to get in touch with TransUnion for them to deal directly with them regarding any incorrect information on their credit report. And so once the reinvestigation is completed, if our client is choosing to continue with adverse actions, now we're going to have Patricia discuss how to proceed with that.
So they've disputed, you send out the pre-adverse action with their report, they look at the report, they disputed it, the information comes back exactly the same. You've really decided that you don't want to move forward with this individual. So for adverse action, I'm going to escape one more time. And I'm going to go back to my checked individuals list here. So in that same section of the HTML version of the report, there's actually an adverse action letter template that you can download and use. So we'll go back to our friend tester here. So here we have the adverse action. And again, here's the adverse action. It's on a Word doc. It pre-fills with the date and the subject's information. And then it says, you know, we've decided not to move forward with hiring you based on what we found on the background investigation. And again, this can be taken and put on your own letterhead. You can show it to your legal counsel just to make sure it's everything that, you know, you would want to have in your letter. And you just send that out. Again, we recommend certified just to make sure that they receive the letter and that you can actually have that trackable record of it. For this one, there's no need to send out the report again. If there's a dispute, if the report is changed, or even if it hasn't, we will always send out a report to the subject to let them know. You know, we send out an email saying, hey, and then we send them their report. So you don't have to resend the report if there was a dispute. So that is the adverse action. Again, we say, you know, there's the pre-adverse action, wait those 5 to 7 business days, and then send out the adverse action letter. And I'm going to pass it to Brittany.
So this is where we're going to open the floor for any questions that any of you guys have, and Patricia or Yvette can certainly answer them. All right, so if nobody has any questions right now, you can certainly reach out to us with our contact information. Patricia, can you pull that slide up, please?
I did. It just took a second.
So this is our contact information. There's our email address. I monitor the staff account every day, 9 to 5, so you can certainly email that with any questions you have, or you can contact us via the 800 number. So you can certainly reach out to us anytime for any questions. And then we just want to thank you guys all for joining us again. Our next CI Leading the Way webinar will be Tuesday, May 12th. And the topic will be report and account customization. But I just want to thank everybody again for coming.
Actually, let me step in. We're going to actually have the topic next week be drug testing. Okay. So the report and account customization will be the following week. We just made an adjustment to that. So next week's topic will be drug testing, and then following that will be the report and account customization the week after.
Yep, and we'll certainly send out another email with the link and what the topic will be on as well.
And I just wanted to mention too that you can find more information on the website link that's included below. Today there will be previous webinar recordings on there as well, so if you missed one of the previous ones, certainly check it out. Those will be posted shortly this afternoon for you guys.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us today. We do appreciate it, and if you have any feedback, you can certainly email the staff account or Michelle personally, and let us know how great we're doing. So, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.